Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the bird room. It seems like a long time since I've been on here. I'm Shane from Direct Bird Products. In today's episode, it's all about preparing your birds ready for showing. I've got a show, if this goes out Friday, my birds will be already boxed up, ready for Saturday morning. And I suppose the main thing is to explain my procedure and what I do to get the birds in the week running up towards the show, what I do to prepare them, whether it be the show cages, the birds themselves, and what to expect when you get to a show. I mean, like I've said many a times, that this is for the new beginners out there who are looking to show for the first time, or just a few tips on what I do to get them in condition, whether it be the tails, the rings, or the feather quality, and things like that. I suppose what we'd start off with is the show cages. My show cages, obviously we've had no shows for 18 months due to COVID. So the cages, when I put them away at the end of the last show season, I just give them a quick clean out, got rid of the seed, and just a quick clean out in the sink just here, just a quick wash down. But basically what I've done this week just to get them ready was just take them apart, take the fronts off, take the perches off. Perches are actually in here soaking, whether it be the fives, the Norwich, or the British bird perches, one on number 2 perches and number 3, because obviously they're different for your different show cage sizes. And when it comes to obviously cleaning your cage, because obviously they've been sat, they've not been really dirty, but all I do is just run them under the tap with a scourer like this, clean everything off, and just dry it down. And obviously we've had decent weather this week, so I've just wiped it down with some of this and put them outside to dry. Once they've dried, all I will do then is good old faithful Mr. Sheen. You can get Mr. Muscle, anything like that. Just spray it on there and wipe it down. Just all that does is give them that bit of more of a shine. And what I have found is it does stop the bird mess and the seed sticking as hard when it does come to clean them out for the next show, because they've got more of a gloss appearance on them. Perches, like I said, just soaking, and at least then you get access to all of the back of the show cage. I've got one down here that I've not completely finished cleaning yet, still a bit dirty. I've been using this one when I've took birds up for people and things like that, so it was more of a carry box. A tip for the labels, it's so simple but so effective. Before you start cleaning your cage, wipe it down with your sponge, take that, put it aside. Take the perches out next, and then, like I said, it's easier to clean out, especially with these type of cages. The front slide in and out so easy, and so easy to clean out. So, like I said, leave them outside, let them air off in the dry weather. If not, leave them in your shed. And what I'd do then, the day before the show, the night before the show, when I'm catching the birds up, I would put the seed in the bottom of the cage. And I have said that canary seed is the actual mixed canary seed for the British show cages, is the actual go-to. But you can use a greenfinch mix, your bullfinch mix, or something of that standard British finch mix even. So that's your show cages. Right, so the birds, my birds now, you can probably not see too much of them when I'm in the way. They're just 99% out of the mould. I've got the odd fife and the odd Norwich with pin and feathers still on the red, but that'll be done in no time. So obviously you don't want to show a bird while it's got them pin feathers or anything like that. And I suppose the key is just to get fresh baths on your birds every day, and at least that way they're going to come through the molt faster. Again, lighting is key. If you've got no light in your shed and you're disturbing your birds at night time, switching light on or off, them birds could easily startle themselves trying to get on the perch or anything and drop flight feathers. Greenfinches are an absolute pain for it. And you can tell it's so easily on a greenfinch because obviously they've got the yellow wing bars. So this is where my dimmer's set perfectly. You can probably see I've been painting the show cages, so a bit of paint still on me from earlier. So yeah, the obviously greenfinches you can see, and they are known for dropping flights and having a bit of a night fright. So just bear that in mind. Have your dimmer set perfectly for when your lights are due to go off. That the dimmer's already on before then. So this week, bearing in mind the show is on a Saturday, so my bills will be booked up Friday night just before the lights go off. Say on a Monday, what I would do is fresh bath, and I would repeat this every day until 2 days before the show. Fresh bath, that bloody dog, nightmare. He's chewing everything. A fresh bath, and like I said, 2 days before the show, don't bath them. So 3 days before the show, before I put the final bath on, what I like to do is get the bird out individually. Say if I'm showing 10, 15 birds, I would get each one of them out. Make sure that the back end, the arse, the bum, whatever you want to call it, is nice and clean. Norwich are the worst for it. He's chewing wires out there, but obviously they're not connected to anything, they're disconnected. Anyway, so once I've done that, I'll make sure that the rings are nice and clean. This is just because if you're showing a bird in a current year class, and greenfinches for instance, current year greenfinches, when it comes towards the specials, will go up against adult greenfinches, and you don't want the judge to be wondering if it is current year because you can't see the ring. It's vital that the ring's nice and clean. Next, go down to the feet, clean the feet off. All I do with mine, a baby wipe, and just clean the feet off as you would normally. But 9 times out of 10 you won't need to, because obviously if they're in individual cages like they are there, the birds are kept nice and clean. If you're cleaning your birds out regularly, you would have to do none of that. Then I would put the bath on for the last time before the show, like I said, 2 days before. And any feathers that you've knocked out of place, if you like, by handling that bird in the bath, they'll bathe and they will go back to normal position as what they would have been. Leo! So, that's the birds. Put them back in, let them bathe, and they'll dry off naturally. Don't do it the day before, because what's going to happen then is the birds can still look wet in appearance. And I have actually done it myself a few years ago with a chaffinch, and it just looked wet on the shore bench even though it wasn't. So just bear that in mind. So then obviously, like I said, what I would do is the night before is catch the birds up and put them in the cage. Try and be as gentle as you can catching them up. Last thing you want, you spend all that time getting your birds ready for obviously showing them, and to be chasing them around the cage for a long time and pull a tail or pull a feather out that obviously will be noticeable when you take it to the show. So what I do is I use a small net and just literally in the cage and catch them up. But most of the birds that if you've been training them on a regular basis, they'll be used to being handled, especially some of the greenfinches. As you can see, I'm stood right in front of them. They're not going crazy. They're actually used to where I am in the shed. They're used to me being handling, or me handling them now. So it's not such an issue for that. Red poles and siskins, if you are showing them, they're quite fast. They're like lightning. So my tip would be have them in a single breeder where you can divide them off and easily scoop them up with a net, then put them into your show cage. At least then you're not stressing them around trying to catch them out of the flight or anything like that a few days before. So like I said, I box mine night time. The only reason I do that is because my lights in the morning don't come on till 7:30ish, 8 o'clock. especially this time of year where we've got darker mornings, and most of the shows I'll be setting off around 6:30, quarter to 7, depending on the venue and how far away it is. Last thing you want to do is come in your shed, get them birds and disturb them by switching the light on out of the ordinary hours. So I'll do them the night before, and it'll settle them in the show cage, and they'll be fine to go the next morning. I mean, at the end of the day, you might get some people say, oh, they shouldn't be in a show cage for that long. Well, we take them to a show, and when I've done like the 2-day shows or like the National, for instance, you have to do them the night before, because you're going up the night before, staying in a hotel or whatever, so you can't have everything. You can't go to a show and show birds if you can't obviously box them up when needed. So happens with pups, they're a pain in the backside. So what to expect when you get to the show? Oh, before I do that, actually, so far as labelling, like I've said before, take a copy. I've got sheets here with the birds. Before I fill my entry format, like I said, take a duplicate copy so I can actually ring numbers and what bird they are, especially if you've got, what have I got, 15, 18 greenfinches up there to choose from if I'm putting maybe 6, 8 out. And they will change. So before, when I'm catching them up the night before, I'll run through them again that one last time before actually putting them into the designated cage that will have the label on. Obviously, I'm not going to show you a cage with the labels on. That's totally out of order. If I've shown you my cage with my label number on, and if a person that is judging my birds is watching this and already knows what birds are mine, so I'm not going to show you that. But put your labels on, run your birds in, and you pick your best ones. It's easy enough to say on a greenfinch whether it's currently bred or adults, but when you come to obviously your fifes, it's not as simple as picking, unless you've got an absolute shed full, maybe 100 birds and maybe 25 of each type, clears, buffs, so on and so on. Then you're not going to be as easy to pick your birds like I can with them. But like I said, the night before I will go through them the one last time, and one might have, like I said, dropped a flight feather or something out of shape, so I'll change it to another one. So yeah, the night before the show, or the day of the show, you'll turn up to show halls, and you're not going to be the only one there. There might be a queue at the door waiting to get in. You take your birds in, and you'll have a lifting card. Same again, I'm not going to show that because it's got my numbers on my birds that I'm entering on in the show this coming weekend. And you'll say your name, they'll find you your entry form out. And if you've got any birds that's not been entered, you'll just tell them, yeah, I've got such and such that's not been entered, cage number 123, for instance, cage number 123, number 1, and they'll cross it off your sheet, and they'll cross it off your lifting card. Your lifting card's very important when it's at the end of the show and you're coming to collect your birds, so people don't get the birds mixed up. So they'll tick them off as you're entering your birds, and then majority of the time the stewards will put water on for your birds, and your D cups, or your top hat drinkers for your fives, or your black D cups for your Norwich, for instance. Me personally, I like to fill my own up, and I have said it before, but I'm not going to go through all the rigmarole again. Just put a couple of centimetres in the bottom of the water, just so that the birds can actually get a drink if they need one, but not enough to have a bath with. Last thing you want is a wet bird while it's trying to be judged. Then the stewards will take the birds away and bench them accordingly on the benches where they've got the classification numbers. Then that'll be it for you. Go home, stay in the show hall, or stay in the opposite hall, or steward, whichever. I'm sure most places would welcome a steward if you are new to it. and you'll understand a lot more about the procedure of judging at that point. Most of the time, if it's not too far away, I will come home, get on with things in the shed that I need to get done. There's always something to do in the shed, as everyone knows. Anyone who keeps birds, there's always everything to do. You think you're on top of it one minute, the birds may be cleaned out, but then you've got everything else to do. So there's always things to do. On your entry, on your schedule, it will tell you what time it's open to the public. This show, for instance, I think it's 2:30. So I will head back to the show all around that time, see where the birds have placed and how they've done and how they've fed against other birds. And take this in mind, we've had no shows for, like I've already said, 18 months. So, and I'd like to see how my birds have bred for the last couple of years without shows against other birds of quality. And that's what a bird show's about, to see each other's hard work that's gone in over the last couple of years, or the last years as normal. And yeah, we all like to win, don't get me wrong. I don't go to a show to just to enter birds for the sake of it. I do go to see who's got the best birds of the day. If I don't win, it's not a problem for me. What I do have a problem with is the wrong bird winning on the day. After all, how long do we take getting birds in that position to show them? It's a hell of a lot of time. It's not just a matter of catching a bird up and sticking it in the old cage. Like I said, it's a procedure that for me takes about a week to do, in and around work and family life. So at the end of the day, if I get beat by a better bird, so be it. Nothing better, especially if it's someone that you know, and someone that's coming up through the ranks, a novice for instance. And there's nothing better to see, in my opinion, and go over and say to them, well done, or whatever. Some people won't, don't get me wrong. When I've won Best British as a novice before, some people won't even say well done to you or anything like that. Then there's others that go out their way to say well done. It's quite an achievement. And later on in the show, what would happen is you would usually have a presentation for the top sections, your best Canary, your best Foreign, best British, that type, best Budgie, and obviously it's nice if you have one, at least you'll get the recognition that you deserve. So the show's over and done with, you bring your birds home. One thing I always do is give them a bit of tonic, whether it be multivitamin tonic or something to that similar effect. Straight in as soon as I get home, I put them straight away, and at least that way they're getting a drink before the lights go off. If it's a show that is a bit further away, and it's going to take you longer to get back than what it is your light's going to be on for, bear that in mind and extend your light hours in your shed with a timer, because I always like to get my birds straight home, straight into the cages, and let them have at least an hour before the lights go out. Depending on, obviously, if it's a 2-day or a 1-day show, they've been in that show cage a long time, and I wanted to get home and back into their own comfortable surroundings and get something to drink and get something to eat before the lights go off. But that is basically it when it comes to showing. If there is anything I could offer, as in far as tips, and I have said this in one of the really early episodes, one thing I do tend to use on a sprinkler and seed is trapping oil. It smells like aniseed, lovely stuff, and I just put a sprinkler of that, well it's a liquid, a sprinkler it on top of the food. It just helps them to calm down a little more. Or with the greenfinches, use a trapping mix, which has trapping oil on it, and at least what that does is keeps them a bit calmer. Maybe some people didn't want to know that, or I shouldn't be telling people that, but trapping mix is in itself quite a lot of goodness in there for the greenfinches, and the trapping oil does definitely help to steady them up and slow them down on the show day. Nothing wrong with it. It's not drugging a bird. It's just something to keep them calm. Now, your carry cages. See, I've got a lot of the old wooden carry cases, should I say, that carry my show cages in the old 4 or 5 show cages. Don't get me wrong, I'm only young, I'm quite fit, quite strong. But imagine you go into a show, you're carrying one box of 4 or 5 in this hand and the same in this hand. You have to walk 200 or 300 yards, 400 yards, that's even further sometimes. Believe me, that gets heavy over time. So what we do have in, and this is something that even before we started selling them, I started using them, is the you can get the Dickies bags, but we sell is the plain blue bags, as you will see in the picture. This just helps because it's obviously not carrying the weight of the box itself. But they are limited, they are on the website. They do come in 2 sizes, medium and large. And the large one actually fits 6, is it 6 or is it 7 boxes I've got in there now? 7 boxes I've got in there, 7 number 3s. So they're quite big. You'll try and fit 7 in a wooden one and carry that. Very heavy. The small one, I think, if I remember, they definitely fit 5 in. 100% fit 5 in, so I've always fitted 5 in. Whether it be Fife, Borders, Norwich, any British ones, Gloucesters, they will fit 5 in. So yeah, I mean, that's it as far as the show goes. Hopefully you have found something useful out of this episode, because obviously it's my time that I'm giving to you to give you little bits of tips that I've picked up over the years to benefit me when it comes to showing. And don't get me wrong, there has been the likes of Stacey Turner, Paul Meek, there's obviously my dad over the years, Sean Fitzpatrick, who's helped me out with birds at shows, and these little tips do go afar. And obviously they've told me years and years ago, and I've adapted to them, and I'm passing them on to you guys now. So yeah, that's it for today. Anything you do need, head over to our website, Direct Bird Products, directbirdproducts.com. It's not www, just directbirdproducts.com. Or find us on Facebook at Direct Bird Products. And if there's something that's not on there, just send me a message, and if I can get it, I will try my best. And before I leave, I just want to say a massive thank you to Kev at the Cage Front Company, sorting me out with show cage perches. Couldn't find any perches for 5s anywhere. He managed to sort me out. Kev does all the punch bar cage fronts. If you do need any made to size, Kev at cagefronts.co.uk is your man. Anyway, that's it. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and leave in the comments any suggestions for upcoming episodes. But what I have got coming up, a number of people over the summer have sent me pictures of their birds. What I'm going to do is put them all together and do them as one episode. You don't have to say your name if you don't like, or I don't have to mention it. Definitely won't mention where you are, any address or anything like that. But what I will do is put obviously people's pictures of birds up, and anything that they want me to mention in there. So if you do want me to involve you in that, send me the pictures. Facebook, you can do it through Facebook Messenger, or comment on this video and I will give you the information you need. Send me the pictures or videos or whatever, and then we'll try and get them obviously in a future episode. Don't know when it's going to be, as soon as I've got enough to fill an episode. So for the people that I've already sent them to me, bear it in mind that, you know, it is coming. Will take a little time, and I'll edit that together and get it out to you. So thanks everybody, enjoy the rest of the evening, and I will see you soon, maybe at one of the shows. Take care.